Hey docs, we are bringing back our virtual PI Beast Camp by popular demand. It's online, you can do it remotely. And the reason I got started in personal injury many years ago is I was running a predominantly cash practice, doing zero personal injury. But I had a family of 4 that they started care, they were halfway through and then got in a car crash. I didn't want them to take the pills, the drugs, the muscle relaxants, the anti-inflammatories, and the list of medications they were given after the crash at the urgent care. And then they went to their family doctor and it was reinforced they needed all these pills and drugs. Lucky for me, they were halfway through care. They had gotten the big idea of chiropractic and they didn't want to do it, but what they needed help with was the paperwork, the intake, and some of the rules. Now at the time it seemed like a daunting task, but I wanted to be their doctor, the drugless doctor they needed, so I had to up my game. And I did the work, I did the effort to basically get myself proficient, and then I found out that there was a number of cases that could be referred to my practice from attorneys, from people that had body shops, from people that had car insurance companies. And all of a sudden we became a magnet in a really white collar town for a lot of these blue collar crashes that people otherwise were just gonna be fed pills and drugs. So now we've got it to the far side of complexity in that we've got it simple. You see, simplicity on the far side of complexity is that we have an all-star lineup of teachers and faculty that'll make your life easy. By the time you get done with this online virtual course, it's like a paint by numbers. You could spend hours and hours and hours trying to figure out the rules, and I did that, but what we've put together in about 14, 15 hours of super solid content with Dan Murphy, Deed Harrison. We will not forget kids in car crashes, which is why we've included Claudia Onrig, upper cervical doc, Drew Clark. We've got the rehab done by a doctor of physical therapy who happens to be the spouse of a phenomenal CBP chiropractor. So the idea is we've put together this all-star lineup that will keep you compliant, that will keep you sleeping well at night because you're working within the rules of the system. But you're gonna get people outside of the medical answers that they traditionally get and the prescriptions that come with almost every car crash, whether people need them or not, they're just given the prescription. So if you wanna save more lives, join us for an online virtual format of PI Beast Camp. You can stop it, pause it, hit replay, and you're gonna take a boatload of notes. But we've made this very simple in a content-rich format that when you're done with this course, you can get 100 passive PI cases, 100 passive PI cases. Everything from billing and coding to settlements, and there's even a Facebook page to support you if you have individual or unique questions going through the process. But what took me many months to learn and weeks of reading extra after office hours, we've made very simple for you. And then we've also put together the experts in each category for our virtual PI Beast Camp. Hey, listen, class is about to start, but when our master class begins, we have to close enrollment because then we move docs through as a class. So please understand, enrollment is open, but when it closes, you'll have to wait probably about 6 months until the next class begins. So please join us. You can pause it, hit replay. You don't need to be on anything live, but we do have a live chat box and Facebook page for any and all questions. You will be heavily supported in a system that really makes this easy because again, it's on the far side of complexity. We made it easy. Join us for a virtual PI Beast Camp from the comfort of your home, no travel, and multiple replays. You're gonna love it, and we're gonna teach you how to attract 100 passive PI patients over the next year. Give me an idea of left-right when it would come to like ankle stuff. Where would you expect that to be?
You're gonna see the driver's gonna have a lot of right ankle, right hip because they're slamming on the brakes. So make sure you just look at those when you evaluate the patient and ask them, hey, anything going on with your ankle or your hip? Right. And sometimes their spine and their neck and their headache so bad, they don't even think about that. They're like, yeah, you're right. That is kind of bothering me.
Yeah. Let's hear from Jamie West.
Hey, it's Jamie West, and we have a kind of a problem that we need Glow After Dark to discuss that we could use guidance on.
So that page there would then go into court.
So by doing that templating and basically the way you would do that motion study, it's a clear indication of a subluxation, which I think is super important for chiropractors to know, right? This is an objective way to show subluxations pre-care and then show a reduction in subluxations post-care.
Exactly.
So one of the questions I always get asked is, from the time of the accident, how far out is kind of like the cutoff before a chiropractor should no longer take them as a personal injury and maybe just consider them as a cash patient?
Sure, great question, and this varies from attorney to attorney. For my office, we're looking at between 2 weeks as a soft deadline and probably 30 days as a pretty hard out.
We're going to give you some options here, and this is a much refined list. You choose what you want. You might send them home to do some of these things, maybe do it in office. But to understand, if you were to bill 6 codes that were timed procedures, then they would have to be there for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
I run a high volume practice, Ed runs a high volume practice, pro athletes, children, and we do some PI. Now again, 100 passive PI plus what we generate, it's a healthy practice. But the way we're gonna teach you to build this, it's dialed in to where it's honest and you can sleep at night. Eric, how's everything?
You know, everything's great.
Good.
It's shocking to get a call from you. It's a nice surprise tonight. So.
Right on, my pleasure, buddy. So tell me what I can do for you. What was the question? And I don't want to put words in your mouth.
How does from the attorney point of view, how should that be documented? You know, if we want to document one thing, but then we were saying something else in the records and.